Finally, my special congratulations to our new AIA Chair of the Board, Mrs. Susan Hitchon. Susan, under normal circumstances, you would have been presented with the AIA gavel, as well as the Automotive Industries Association Chair's pin. I would like to invite you to say a few words in your capacity as Chair of the 2020-2021 AIA Board of Directors.
Thank you, Brent. And I do look forward to receiving that gavel and pin someday when we can see each other in person. Firstly, I'm deeply honored by the vote of confidence in appointing me as your 2020 chairman and first female chair. It is my hope that women on the AIA executive and in the chairman's position will soon be a regular occurrence. I am a proud supporter of many talented women in our industry who I tip my hat to, and I would be happy to see any one of them in this position soon. Thank you for participating in our virtual AGM, and I'm sorry that I'm not able to see you all in person, mostly because I would love to see the haircuts your spouses have all given you. I think that'd be fun. Seriously though, I trust that you, your extended families, friends, and coworkers are all safe during these difficult times. As a result of COVID-19 and the pressures you have encountered, your business model will no doubt change. You and your team at your respective companies are reevaluating your business model, looking at it differently than ever before. You're pivoting in more ways than one. Perhaps you're asking, how do we come back? What does our company look like on the other side? And also, how do we set ourselves apart from the others? Reflecting on that and in preparation for today's AGM, I want to take just a couple of minutes to share a personal story with you. This is a picture of a letter that hangs in a predominant place in my home office. It's a prized possession in my husband's family, and I look at it directly every day. A brief back history. My husband's grandfather, Arnold Hitchon, started a family-run insurance business in Brantford in 1890. Years later, he invited his 3 sons to join the business, and his eldest son, Revel, was my husband's father. Today, 130 years later, Bunnell Hitchon Insurance is still one of the most well-respected and predominant insurance brokers in the area. Arnold Hitchon was an astute businessman who wanted his son to be prepared for the work yet to come. He wrote a letter to his eldest son. He enclosed it in a large brown manila envelope and mailed it to a family member in England. He then made arrangements for that person to send the letter to his son on the first airmail from England to Canada. Clearly, he felt that this was a significant historical event that needed to be documented in writing. The letter reads, July 1939, Dear Revel, this envelope should travel to you by the first official airmail between Canada and the British Isles. It marks the forging of a new link in empire communications, and I expect it will not be long before business trips to London by air will be a commonplace affair. You, no doubt, will make such trips. I crossed to England early in 1915 in a slow convoyed troop ship. Your grandfather Hitchon first crossed to Canada in a steamer that took 2 weeks. Your great-grandmother Wallace came over in a sailing vessel that required 7 weeks. Thus, time marches on and marches faster with each generation. Your task will be to keep in step with progress and to keep out in front. Your loving dad. Now, as many of you know, I recently made a significant career change. I can tell you that making that decision was very difficult. I took time to reflect on my past experiences and to ponder the future. And during that time of reflection, it became clear to me that what I wanted to do was to stay in the automotive aftermarket industry. I feel a sense of not only camaraderie, but a sense of family here with all of you. It's a network of relationships, friendships, fostered over many years, and I appreciate how important that is. This family heirloom letter reminding us to keep out in front came to mind as an appropriate message for our task ahead. At the beginning of the COVID outbreak, during the period of fast-paced decision-making that was being made by our federal, provincial, and local governments, AIA did not stand back and wait to see what government would announce. Instead, AIA, in concert with our government relations partner, Summa Strategies, moved full on into self-preservation mode for our industry. There was a great deal of behind-the-scenes work that transpired to ensure that our industry was recognized and formally announced as an essential service. I want to personally thank JF and his team for their efforts to help our aftermarket industry stay open for business and keep out in front during this very challenging time. As a result, our aftermarket automotive service providers, our ASPs, are continuing to work and provide for their families. There is no doubt that their business looks different than it did just a few months ago. They have adapted, pivoted. Our members, manufacturers, WDs, and wholesalers are continuing to supply ASPs with essential products so they can continue to keep their doors open, providing a valuable service to their communities. In January, JF and I attended the CEO Symposium of CSAE, which is the Canadian Society of Association Executives. CSAE reminds us that the definition of an association is very simple. It is a group of people who voluntarily come together to solve common problems, to meet common needs, and to accomplish common goals. I believe that that statement clearly identifies the origin of AIA and still rings true today. It is the critical mass of generosity and support from our members that allows AIA to have the resources necessary to achieve our common goal. This is an important time for AIA to be a part of your inner circle, for us to work together to ensure that the over 400,000 people in our automotive aftermarket industry in Canada continue to thrive and to provide services to our consumers. Our only customer is the consumer. While COVID-19 has provided an extra stress to our daily lives, your company and AIA need to stay on course to achieve key objectives. AIA will continue to work on the primary projects that our membership expects of us. The Your Car, Your Data, Your Campaign, Your Choice program is just one of those files. Your participation in AIA activities is critical at this time. Your expertise, your opinion, your support is highly valued, and we thank you for staying engaged in your association. You can expect to receive timely, ongoing communication from AIA as we make progress on these important projects. In addition, AIA will continue to provide you with clear, concise information on the COVID situation as it relates to our industry. I congratulate Derek on receiving the Young Leader of the Year award, a very well-deserved award, Derek. I would like to thank our outgoing board members for being so generous in giving their time during their tenure here. And a special thank you to Jason Best as past chairman. I'm happy to continue to work with you in your role as past chair for 2020. A warm welcome to our newly elected board members. We have a big task ahead of us at a time when business as usual no longer exists, when thinking outside of the box isn't creative enough because there is no longer a box. I am confident that AIA will keep in step with progress and keep out in front. On behalf of your 2020 AIA Board of Directors and the AIA team, I thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to working with you all. Back to you, JF.